people, it's your girl Adeola. Last year, Governor Ambode of Lagos State said that he needs to demolish all slums near water due to safety measures. So people were like, Mr. Governor, instead of telling us that you're worried about safety, of course, you want to drive out poor people so you can build luxurious waterfront properties for the rich people. Will not be so. Keep in mind, these people have been living there for more than a century. It is now that the governor is worried about their safety. I beg. And how is demolishing their homes promoting safety? Despite outcries from people though, in November of last year, Otodo Gbame community was demolished in the middle of the night. More than 30,000 people were rendered homeless that night. Demolishers even came with thugs and they were shooting at people. 15 people were killed that night. Now, this is a government that says it wants to bring safety. How do you demolish people's homes without compensating them or relocating them, and in some cases without giving them notice?
The government is required to give you a notice. If you are contesting that notice, there is an appeal committee in that same ministry. So if you don't pursue this process, even by the government, any demolition carried out in Lagos or anywhere is illegal. Thank you, Jared. Ambode's message is clear that if you are not rich in Lagos, you do not matter. The people protested. They marched to the governor's house. No one came out to address them.
The community marched to the Lagos State Governor's office to seek his intervention. Although no one attended to them, the demolition stopped, and it did seem as if peace had returned.
In January, they were able to secure a court injunction from the High Court that prevents further demolition by the government. But just when these people were putting their lives back together, the governor ordered another demolition, also in the middle of the night, refusing to honor the court injunction. Thousands of people now sleep on the streets. People are literally living in canoes, in boats, and on makeshift shelters on water. How do you live like that? And it's not just homes. They also demolish their schools, their clinics, their churches, their businesses, all in the name of promoting safety. Governor Ambode, seriously?
We have secondary school here and primary school. They've demolished everything.
The Lagos State government is going around under the pretext of security that our slums are harbor for criminals and start destroying our houses. ICC, the International Criminal Court of Justice, should investigate Lagos State government for crime against humanity.
The worst part of this is that the government of Lagos State is denying having hands in the demolition.
We will go long, sir. Government state is don't know about all the things they have for this community. And definitely, if those people come, they will say that government, they do the work.
Send them come.
Now government, they stay there, they come.
Those people that came here yesterday, they mentioned government, and we vote for them there. We don't know that this is what they are going to use to pay it back to us.
Yeah, you know, I mean, come on. Who else can disobey court order in Lagos? Especially when you already said that you would demolish these slums, Mr. Governor. But you know, seriously, I keep wondering, Governor Ambode, in case you're watching, does it not bother you that these people lost everything? Even as a father, it doesn't bother you that you render thousands of children homeless?
To eat food like this is difficult for us, for the community.
This is my property. These are my children.
We are begging
This is my children.
That is a job.
How many are they? Five children.
Some of them lost their family members during the demolition. They died. These are people that lived all their lives in this slum.
How many years you don't live for Otodo Gbame?
For Otodo Gbame. My complete years, I didn't hear they bomb me for Otodo Gbame.
How old do they like?
I am 35 years old now.
I don't spend 35 years for Otodo Gbame.
I'm Otodo Gbame already.
What Ambode did, you know, was disgraceful and shameful, and it can never be justified.
Yeah, can you imagine? Just imagine how painful that must have been. Someone has to talk to Governor Ambode. This is not right. You can develop Lagos without rendering people homeless or killing them. I'm surprised that you're not worried about safety in the neighborhood of rich people. I mean, you won't go there and demolish their homes because you're worried about safety there.
The government is going around destroying our homes when the actual criminals are living in Ikoyi. Those who loot our country, we, the victim of mismanagement, the victim of bad governance, our children become criminals because the money has been looted by some people and taken to Dubai, taken to Panama, taken to US.
And you know, I was really shocked reading that Oba Elegushi of Lagos, who is supposed to be defending his people, is actually allegedly involved. Meanwhile, look at Oba Rewan Akiolu. He is busy snubbing the Oni of Ife. I mean, mean, really, shouldn't he also be protecting the interest of his people that are being made homeless? Oh, wait a minute. Was he not the one that said that anybody that refuses to vote for Ambode will be thrown into the lagoon?
If any one of you, I swear in the name of God Almighty Allah, goes against my will that Ambode, inshallah, will be the next governor of Lagos State. If you go against this, you will perish in the water. Finish.
Yes, he was the one that said anyone that refuses to vote for Ambode will be thrown into the lagoon. Keep in mind that about 300,000 people in Lagos are facing homelessness if the governor continues with this demolition. 300,000 people. This includes women and children. You guys don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. So last week, Uncle Dino Melaye gave another rendition of his favorite song. Stop it, that is enough. Anyway, the important thing to me in that video is the people that were standing there hailing him. This man came in, what was he driving? This man came in a luxurious car. He has bodyguards with him. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of these people standing there are living from salary to salary. In fact, it's possible that the government is still owing some of them months of salaries. You see somebody that is stealing your money, but you are still calling them Oga. Well, what's up in my own? So, did you guys hear that the Lagos International Airport was vibrating? Hey, whoa, fat off! Hey. Some areas at the departure were shaking for a long time. People were panicking. Of course, everyone knows that the airport is due for total rehabilitation. Not this cosmetic stuff that they will be doing, you know, like the one they did about 3 years ago when Madam Stella was there. You know, they said they spent some billions of naira at that time. They think that we are stupid. Oh, by the way, Uncle Dele Mamadou wrote an article, you know. He said, without mincing words, the Murtala Muhammed International Airport in Lagos is one of the most deplorable airports in Africa in terms of ambience, functionality, and efficiency. Ooh! Father, you know, I've been talking about this airport for years. No, so can you guys believe what the Minister of State for Aviation said? That is Senator Hadi Sirika. There were vibrations at the air handling room of the cooling system. Air handling room. What do you think? Isn't that the AC room, the air conditioner? Okay. He said the door is a huge metal door that needed to be locked properly. It was locked, but it wasn't latched properly. The latches were not in place, and that gave rise to the vibrations because there are moving parts within the system. Hey, you're talking to Nigerians. These people think they can use grammar to confuse us. The door of the AC room was not locked. Actually, he said it was locked. It was not latched. So that is why the airport was shaking. Luckily, don't I say on this show that Nigerians are not stupid? Why are these people taking us for granted? What is this man talking about? How come the AC room itself was not shaking? You think that we are mumu? The air coming from the AC room is what is shaking the building? Nigerians, you see, if these people don't do proper renovation of the airport on time, you know the place can collapse. Lord knows I don't want it to collapse. That's why I'm talking about it. I'm not asking for evil. I'm just saying we need to do something on time. Do you know that there is an abandoned underground car park in the basement of the airport that is presently rotting? It's been abandoned for several years. Listen to this by Dele Mamadou. He said, the abandoned underground car park in the basement has not only become muddy and odoriferous, but worse still, decayed and decrepit. Ooh, father! The man said that he refused to believe what the minister said. He said, it is my belief that the edifice is being affected by the decay and rot that is lying at the very foundation of the building in the basement. Tell them, I beg, please tell them once again, Nigerians, if you love your life, please, you better put pressure on the government to renovate that airport, especially if you're traveling. Because if we don't, when it happens, people may lose their lives. And if you are a traveler, that may be you or somebody that you know, God knows, I don't want it to happen. And speaking of someone getting hurt, my people, have you seen that video of Nigerian soldiers forcing a man to swim in mud water?
Man, don't let that guy.
I think think those two guys were also soldiers. Two of them were not wearing uniforms and two of them were wearing some kind of uniform. I still wonder the kind of image the Nigerian army, the Nigerian military tries to portray. I don't know what you want us to think about you. Like, really, how do you want us to see you? You know, should we see you as the people that protect us or the people that terrorize us? Like, really, is this why people enlist in the Nigerian army, to go about terrorizing civilians? It's so unfortunate what the Nigerian army has become. Please let the presidency address this. It's enough. We're supposed to feel safe when we see soldiers. Instead, we only feel terrorized. And if they don't do something about how our soldiers are being trained, we will continue to see them behave like this. And the sad thing is, this is not peculiar to Nigeria. In so many African countries, this is how soldiers treat civilians. What is that? So as I was saying, what is that smell? Didn't I tell you not? Did I not tell you not to play this video? What is wrong with you?
Let me see.
Are you done? Chime. Ladies and gentlemen, now take down the photo. Let me talk. Sorry, my people. Apparently, a car was burning on the streets of Lagos last week. I mean, the car was almost completely burnt anyway. I guess there were no firefighters or maybe there was no water. I don't know. All I know is a truck loaded with feces. As in, you know... As in, I didn't ask you to put up the photo. They know what feces. Anyway, a septic disposal truck full of feces stopped across the street so they could empty the content in order to put out the fire. I say, me. This is what Nigeria has become. How do we call ourselves the giant of Africa when we now use feces to put out fire? You know, I don't see that happening. Even in Botswana, that small Botswana. My people from Botswana, I'm not saying that your country is small. I'm just saying you have it together. So you understand? This is a national disgrace. This is a national shame. By the way, do you guys think that they can still use that car for anything when it's now filled with feces? I mean, which one is worse? Was it the fire or having feces dumped in your car? Wait a minute. Did you put it up again? Where do you think you're running to? Moving on to South Africa, a popular Nigerian pastor was arrested for allegedly sleeping with girls in his church. Not just one or two, but as many as 30 girls. Lord have mercy. Some of these girls are as young as 14 years old. Can you imagine? Ladies and gentlemen, please meet 58-year-old Tim Omotoso, founder of the Jesus Dominion International Church. Now, according to the church's website, he has 27 churches around South Africa with branches in Britain, in France, and Israel as well. 27 branches. Apparently, this man has been a pastor in South Africa for almost 16 years. Omotoso is well known for his designer suits. I mean, when you see his pictures, you can tell everything is bling bling, expensive sunglasses, and luxurious cars. Apparently, he has a Lexus. He also has a Porsche. Some people call it Porsche, you know, however you want to call it. His wife drives a Jaguar. One of the women working with him said that everything from his clothing, his shoes, his jewelries, and sunglasses, they all come from a designer in England. So they import everything that the man wears. He also has a record company and a foundation known as Help the Helpless Foundation. He used to be the music director for Ebenezer Obey, by the way, in the 80s, you know. So music is a huge part of his ministry. So sometimes during church services, he would play instruments, he would sing.
You shall enter your Canaan this morning.
Yeah, man. Apparently, the man of God has at least 3 residences in the affluent part of Durban. One of his homes is valued at 2 million rand. He also allegedly has female recruiters who look out for beautiful young girls that live with their single mom, because apparently the man is intimidated by girls who have fathers in their lives. So he targets girls who have single parents, and it has to be a single mom. So these recruiters will tell these girls that if they come to live with the pastor, that he will sponsor their education and give them a better life, that there are so many girls that are living with him that he basically adopts them and he's taking care of them. So a lot of girls are attracted to this, but upon arrival to the house where he keeps them, they will see other girls, they would relax, and then one night the man of God will invite the new girl into his room to come and massage his leg, and then from there he will tell them to perform oral sex on him, and if they refuse, he would say it is God's will for them to do it. And you know, some people just cannot say no when they hear a man of God say it it is God's will. And then if they are reluctant to sleep with him, he tells them that God wants them to sleep with him so that they can be closer to God, because he is very close to God. Can you imagine that? God is so patient. There are so many people that are messed up and then they proclaim themselves as men of God. In fact, one of the victims said that when she complained that what if she gets pregnant, the man of God laid hands on her stomach and prayed that God would prevent her from getting pregnant. I mean, the stuff that I heard when I was watching the video of the victims, it's mind-boggling.
My spiritual belief, it went down the drain. Since the day I left there, I've never set foot in any church. When I think of going to a church, it's hard.
Now, there are so many wolves that dress as sheep, so many so-called men of God that are just manipulators and mind controllers. And for so many years, many of these girls could not talk to anybody about this. I mean, they all knew among themselves that they are being molested by this man. Apparently, this has been going on since 2002, but many of them believe that because he's a respected man that no one would believe them. I saw a video where some of the male workers were complaining that how come only the female workers were getting preferential treatment. Apparently, there's a huge boss that would take these girls to church, take them back. He was giving them preferential treatment, and it looks like the guys were just invisible.
They've been offered accommodation, they've been taken care of, and that gave me a suspicion.
He says that the men in the church always suspected that something was amiss because of the way the young women were given certain privileges that the young men were not.
And when one of them complained, one of the male workers, when he complained that how come, Papa, you are only focusing on the female workers, this male church worker said that the man of God literally manhandled him.
He started punching me. He manhandled me to a point where if it was my mate, if it was someone I know, I would fight back for myself.
Now, some of these girls said that the man of God will convince them to drop out of school. He will say that they are not destined for school, but that God has the plan for them to open a business and become rich like that. So they will drop out of school. It's like he tries to isolate them. Now, when the story broke out, they tried to arrest this man during Easter celebration, but he apparently knew about it, and so he escaped. And I'm like, why would the man of God be running? Why would he be hiding during Easter if he's innocent, you know? Guess where they finally arrested him? At the Port Elizabeth Airport. And you will not believe this, but he was hiding in the female restroom. I was like, now, if the man of God is innocent, why was he hiding in women's toilet? Seriously? If really he's innocent, why was he running for days? Because it took them days before they were finally able to arrest him. And of course, they found him in another town. He flew from Durban to Port Elizabeth. That was where they caught him. And you know, they were talking with him on the phone that he needs to come in for interrogation. And you know, on that day, they knew that he was going to Port Elizabeth, and then he called and told them that his flight was delayed so that they won't come to look for him when he's supposed to be there. He wanted them to come maybe some hours later when he would have left, but those ones did not believe him when he said his flight was delayed. So the security officers, they came there at the time that his flight was scheduled to arrive. And sure enough, the flight was not delayed. That's another thing. The man of God lied. He lied to the security operatives that his flight was delayed. And then when they came, they found him in a restroom.
He allegedly told the police his flight was delayed.
We had to take initiative as the Hawks to go to the airport ourselves, only to find out that the flight was on scheduled time. He sought refuge at the toilet. That's where we got the toilet and took him from the toilet.
Pastor, are the allegations true? Are the allegations true?
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, please and please be careful who you call your spiritual father. I cannot stress this enough, that if you're a Christian, Jesus alone should be your example. It's good to have men of God in your life, but they are still human beings like you. Don't ever put all your hope in a man. You should always put all your hope in God. Please stop replacing God with men of God. His case has been adjourned till May 3rd, so that's when we'll know what would happen to him, but until then, they have refused to grant him bail. I want to know what you guys think about this story. You guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real.
Growing up in Kenya, my sister and I were very close. But like any sisters, we fought a lot. She always got new clothes, and I always got hand-me-downs. Now she's putting her children through school in Kenya. We still fight sometimes, especially when I send money for the kids. I tell her, buy some clothes for the younger one, and we both laugh.
With nearly 500,000 locations, our app and online, this is moving money for better.
All right, Alright, y'all, it's been real, and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next week, I must see y'all later. Peace out.